so much. Welcome back, everyone. Part of the new law signed by the President, Bola Tinubu, is the data protection law, which he assented to on the 12th of June. That is a Monday. The new law established the Nigeria Data Protection Commission, which saw the automatic fusion or transition of the Nigeria Data Protection Bureau into a commission and to be headed by a national commissioner and a CEO. The institution is said that about 500,000 jobs are expected to be created through the training of data protection officers and licensing of data protection compliance organization to offer services to data controllers and processors. The new act is said to be one of the strategic ways of meeting the campaign promise of Tinubu to create 1 million jobs in the digital economics sector. Tonight, I'm being joined by the National Commissioner of the Nigeria Data Protection Commission, Dr. Vincent Olatunji. Thank you so much indeed for joining us tonight on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. First and foremost, because we've had conversation around cutting cost of governance and duplicity and multiplicity of government agencies at a point that Nigeria cannot afford it because we don't really have the money to run a bogus government size, the kind of size of government that we have. So the question is, why another commission or agency of government? Shouldn't this just be a department under the Ministry of Communications or something?
Thank you very much. You know, globally now, we are talking of global digital economy. And the global digital economy, obviously, some organizations that are no more relevant in the global digital economy will go, while others that are relevant in the global digital economy will come up. And it's all about reskilling and retooling in order for us to be relevant in the global digital economy. For instance, I studied geography and planning, my first degree, my second degree, and even my PhD. But when I discovered that I wanted to work in the digital economy sector, I did my advanced diploma in computer studies. When the issue of data protection came up, I did my certification in data protection, and I'm a certified public-private partnership strategist. And now I'm even a member of Forbes Technology Council. So moving from geography, core geography, to technology, to privacy, to a lot of things.
So this is a new area that the world is tilting towards.
Yes.
So and you look at some of the top major economic cash cow in the US, for example. You talk about the Apples of this world, the Meta, the Facebook, the Instagram, Twitter. These are cash cows. These are the ones that are driving the major economies around the globe. And so this is the area where Nigeria needs to go.
Absolutely. And this is the global trend.
But are we ready for it?
We are ready, because if you are talking of having about over 200 million people, over 104 go online on regular basis to exchange our data, to share our data, to have access to some services. So there is need for us as a country to have a law that will guarantee trust and confidence, whatever we are doing online, to ensure that our rights, our freedoms, and interests of data subjects who are Nigerians are adequately protected. And more importantly, it is now a human rights issue that where you do anything online, your data, your privacy must be adequately protected. And in Africa, we are not just starting in Africa. In Africa, as far back as 2014, there was this Malabo Convention on cyber security and data protection, mandating all 54 African countries to have their data protection laws and their data supervisory authority. Why the institution is important is one thing for you to have a law. It's a completely different thing for you to have it implemented. If you don't have a supervisory authority, the issue of adequacy is not there. Because the thing is that you must have your law, which will provide the legal framework for safeguards for your data where you do want in the other line. A completely different thing is for you to have a DPA, Data Protection Authority, an independent data protection authority. That is the trend globally. And in Africa, as we speak today, 34 countries now have their principal laws in the area of data privacy and protection, while 23 have their data law, protection laws, and their data supervisory authority as a result of Malabo Convention. Even at the level of West Africa, as far back as 2020, there was this supplementary act for West African countries to have their data protection authority and their laws. And one thing that is really important and original to us in Nigeria, the model that we have adopted is at no cost to government. It's going to be a self-funding organization in Nigeria.
How?
Revenue generation.
Where will you be getting the funds from?
Now, the model we adopted, I said PPP. I told you I'm a PPP strategist. So when we started this implementation, the idea that I brought was that we should have a PPP model for so many reasons. One, the level of technological development in Nigeria. Two, our population, our size as a country. It will be very difficult for a small government office to be able to effectively implement the regulation that we started with. That was why we started with the PPP model, where we license DPCOs, Data Protection Compliance Organizations. What do? They go to organizations to offer compliance as a service for them to be able to comply with the provisions of the law. Through that, organizations where they offer services to will file their annual report with us. And during the course of filing, they pay annual filing fee to us. And licensing DPCOs is not cheap. It's not free. They have to pay their licensing fees. The grants and fines that will definitely come up. Between when we started and now, without a law, in less than 1 year, we were able to bring in over 200 million naira to government. That was where we didn't even have a law. Now we have a law. We have an instrument to operate. Just about a month ago, EU fined Meta 1.3 billion euro. And you know what that means to their economy? The US government, through the FTC, just fined Microsoft about 2 years ago, $20 million for data breaches. So these were around data privacy, data protection, data breaches. They are huge. That any single breach will lead to a lot of issues for
and there are issues already. Let me ask you.
So
the CBN gave a regulation, gave a directive to commercial banks asking now that for verification of the identity of bank account holders, their social media handles needs to be collected and also archived and put to identify them. Organization and Serap, like Serap, had come out to say, look, that is a gross violation of the rights of the Nigerian citizen and is a violation of the right to freedom of expression and privacy. No. Are you also moving against government agencies that are seen to be violating rights of citizens?
Definitely, there are provisions in law to move against any data controller, government office, private sector, NGO, hotels, any organization.
So are you pro-government or pro-citizen?
Pro-citizens. The whole idea about this law is to protect the rights, the freedoms, and the interests of Nigerians who are data subjects.
Are you going to fight for Nigerians on this CBN
Definitely,
directive?
we've done a letter to CBN that what they have done, because in data protection and privacy issues, there are some basic principles that you need to follow when you want to collect citizens' data. One, there's what is called data minimization. That is, you don't collect data more than for the purpose for you which you want to use it for. There is a limit to the level of data you must collect. One, purpose limitation. What purpose? Why do you actually need somebody's data? Now, in this case, it's for financial transactions. Now, the issue of now asking for their social media is not really necessary. Now, if that will happen under public interest, yes, CBN is okay, we are the regulator in this sector. Under public interest, we want to use this to monitor some financial transactions. There are some guidelines that you must follow. One, there will be a way of informing data subjects, in this case, who are bank customers, to say these are the things we want to do. Now, a new account will be open. You need to let the data know. Now we want to collect your social media handles for the purpose of this and that, for this and that purpose. But ideally, that should not even happen at all. So we're engaging the CBN on this, and we'll look at the best way out of it.
What would you be telling the CBN to scrap that regulation, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll find out, one, why did that regulation come up? Then we'll now let them know the implications of the law. Now we have a law in Nigeria, that's the Data Protection Act 2023. These are the implications.
But aspect of the law,
if you go best practice, you don't collect data more than what you need. So there's no point collecting such data. So we'll definitely take them up. We'll work with them and look at the best solution out of it.
And please let us know what the outcome of that.
Definitely.
There's a huge agitation.
All over.
I'm very sure
we receive calls, mails from all over the world. Tell you, now you have a new law for data protection. Now your CBN is bringing out this. So definitely we'll engage them. It's not just about talking or making noise. We need to engage them and look at the best way to resolve this.
There are cases in some part of the world where, it's said that some government agencies eavesdrop and listen to citizens' calls. And that accusation also came up in Nigeria too. And you heard about the case of Cambridge Analytica and how data has been manipulated for political and security reasons. How protected are Nigerians about this? I mean, you probably would have seen some violations by the government in the past that we have seen and heard, an agitation from the Nigerian people. What would you like to say to that?
Yeah, I think we've moved from where we were to a new era now. There's a paradigm shift now, where we didn't have the law. But in fact, it's even a constitutional provision. Section 37 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has amended. Speaks to the issue of your privacy, your right to privacy. So that we are not even doing it because we didn't have an institution to fully bring this to life. That was why all these violations have been seen. Now that you have this act, which is derived from Section 37 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we are now fully out to ensure that these rights, the privileges and freedoms are adequately taken care of on behalf of Nigerians.
As one of the security agencies that was said to have acquired an equipment to be able to listen to citizens' calls. Are you aware of, has there been any kind of petition from Nigerian citizens to say these are their worries? Because when that kind of thing happened, Nigerians will question, Nigerians have raised their eyebrow about some of these issues.
Now, the thing is, in the law that we have now, even if that will happen, maybe for national security, for instance, that, okay, because of some security issues, they want to get some information, they want to get some data. There are procedures, guidelines of which the Bureau is already working out, and we need to work with this organization. Okay, if you want to do this, there are some basic things that we need to follow, which are like guidance, like rules, like guidelines, which we are going to issue that will work. And that is why I said, this, I've been saying it severally, that this is not something that you just sit in your corner as the DPA and say, oh, you want to issue guidance. You need to engage this government organization because a lot of them don't even understand.
So
around privacy and data protection.
From the new law now, you are saying that every organization must have a data protection agent or officer.
Data protection officer, yes.
That's what is going to happen.
Yes.
So it's mandatory.
It is mandatory. Section 32 of the law says, as a data controller of major importance, you must have a resident DPO, data protection officer.
If that doesn't happen, what's the consequence?
It's against the law. That's a breach. We'll take you up.
So when are you going to start effectively using this law?
The first thing is to give them 6 months after the law has taken effect for them to register with us, all the data controllers and personnel in the country.
Which are the organizations that are affected? Is it every private organization in Nigeria?
Not only private, every organization. If you collect and process the data of Nigerians, you are affected. Public sector, companies, oil companies, banks, telcos, insurance companies, hotels, hospitals, pharmaceutical companies, industry, manufacturing industry, everybody.
And those who text us and advocate for things that we don't need. Is that a breach too?
It is. It is. If they profile you, that you will likely your spending ability or your spending preference may be in line with this area, and they profile you.
And can citizens sue?
Yes, you can.
Now,
you can report to us.
One of your officers, Mr. Bangboye, has said that the data protection law will immediately create about 500,000 jobs. Where are these coming from?
Yeah, that's one interesting thing about this digital economy sector. You know, part of the campaign promises of Mr. President was that he's going to create 1 million jobs from the digital economy sector alone. Now, in Nigeria, there was a survey we carried out. We have over 500,000 data processors and controllers in the country. And the law says each of you must have a DPO. The question now is, do you have qualified DPOs? The answer is no. Those of us that are certified DPOs in Nigeria, we're not up to 10,000. Whereas we have jobs of 500,000 people. How do you want to do that? That is why the number 2 agenda that I want to pursue is capacity building. How do we build capacity? How do we train people to be able to service this market, which is really available? And the good thing about this sector, the fact that you don't need to be a legal practitioner, you don't need to be a core tech person before you can really be a DPO. All you need to do is to attend your training, write your exams, then you need to learn on the job. You acquire the necessary skill to serve as a DPO. So it is mandatory for all of them to have DPOs. The other part is the Data Protection Compliance Organizations, DPCOs, that we license to carry out compliance on their behalf. An average DPCO will employ 5 people. As of today, we have licensed 160. And this can increase up to 1,000. That is another means of creating jobs.
So every organization should be ready. What is the time that you give all of the 6 months? So that will be by the end of this year?
This year, because the filing for this year should occur and end between January 1st and 31st of March next year. So all your data protection activities, whatever you have done in terms of compliance, data protection and everything, you must file your report with us latest by 31st of March 2024.
You need to come out to give Nigerians this information for a lot of organizations that are involved in this. So quickly, I have just a few questions that I needed to ask you within the short time that we have. Some persons argue that Nigeria's digital system is not sophisticated enough. How does your agency intend to ensure the success of this law?
Now, this law is not about the sophistication of our digital technologies in the country. It's all about legal issues around the collection, processing, storage, sharing, and everything that has to do with data.
Do you have a means by monitoring?
Yes. I just told you that we have, let's say, DPCOs.
No, apart from that, do you have digital way of monitoring?
Yes, we are available on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. You can report to us there. Then on our portal, there is a place where you can lodge reports and we take it up immediately and we invite any organization is concerned. And between when we started and now, even without a law, we've investigated about 7 banks and 3 of them have paid fines. But as much as we don't want to announce these fines so that it won't lead to job loss or lack of trust for this organization, what we tell you, pay remediation fee, we take you through remediation for a period of 6 months, we monitor you. All we're trying to preach is the culture of compliance.
So your agency is not able to independently and remotely detect breaches, are you?
No, you have to
until it has to be reported.
It has to be reported.
Are you trying to go to that level where you can be able to detect and remotely monitor because not only on Nigerian soil that people breach this kind of law, people from any part of the world.
If it happens, it has to do with somebody, a group of people. So the person or that group should report to us, they will take action. If it happens, I just keep quiet. We can't. There's something we can do.
So you still need the citizens to be able to...
citizens, because it is their right. We are talking about them now. It's all about the citizens, not even government now. It's about the citizens, either an individual, a group, or a church, whatever. It's all about that.
So this is civil and criminal. It can be civil, it can be criminal.
Yes,
so
yes.
You've criminalized this in some way.
Yes, because people can even be jailed.
All right. Dr. Vincent Olatunji is the National Commissioner and the CEO of the Nigeria Data Protection Commission. Thank you so much. I wish you the very best in your endeavor.
Thank you.
The CBN and those unwarranted calls and SMS, Nigerians really would like to see what you are doing about it.
Definitely.
Thank you so much indeed for coming.
Thank you.